Hello and welcome. Throughout this presentation, we will refer to the Workforce Competitiveness Trust Fund as the WCTF. For your reference, in 2018, the grants were renamed the Senator Kenneth J. Donnelly Workforce Success Grants. So please know that the Donnelly Grants, the Workforce Success Grants, and WCTF have been used synonymously here. Commonwealth Corporation serves as the intermediary for the Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development to administer state funds and build the capacity of grantees for increased scale and workforce development priorities. We aim to invest in the future of work, support the development of immediate pipeline workers, and train and upskill the current workforce. The essential elements that make the WCTF programs unique are the elements we've highlighted here: recruitment and selection, technical skill development, case management and support, job development, and placement support. All of the programs selected for funding include work towards these critical components. We look forward to working with everyone over the life cycle of each grant and supporting each of these areas as they help to lead to the successful program delivery and outcomes. You may find that over the course of your grant, we focus on learning more about your program beyond just the outcomes we hope to see you achieve. We want to thank you in advance for your partnership and commitment to strengthening the workforce of Massachusetts through your training program. The goal in this recorded session is to review the highlights of the grantee guide and support materials, to touch on participant eligibility and data, to talk through fiscal status reporting, contract modifications, and next steps with your grant. You will find the most pertinent information in your grantee guide for successful grant management. Please refer to your guide for additional details on each of these important topics that we touch on today. Should you still have questions, we encourage you to reach out to your program manager. In this recording, we will highlight the information about participant eligibility, participant registration forms, documentation and reporting, quarterly reporting, the fiscal reporting and reimbursement process, contract modifications, technical assistance, and present success. Included in the RFP, we highlighted that projects are to serve specific populations within Massachusetts. The key populations to be served are unemployed and underemployed individuals or incumbent workers. When serving these populations, please note that the programs and participant data tracked will be different. For unemployed and underemployed participants, they need to be residents of Massachusetts, while those served through the incumbent worker option do not need to be Massachusetts residents, just Massachusetts workers. If you'd like to read this slide in a little more detail, please pause the recording. When looking to define underemployed, this USDA SAIPE county median household income has the wage table as the guidance, but please check yearly for updated wages, typically happening every December. We will also update the grantee guide with the updated wages every year as soon as they're available. The chart includes the 60% median household income data provided in the RFP and Section 6 of the grantee guide. The chart provides the median income level for each of the 16 workforce areas. The 60% median household income for the state of Massachusetts is $56,700 or $27.30 per hour. An underemployed individual is defined as an individual who is earning less than 60% of the median household income, also referred to as area median income, for the workforce area in which they reside. Please reference this chart while determining the selection policy for your program. As part of each training program, we need to have a copy of your selection policy. Your selection policy should incorporate how you will recruit, assess, and select participants from your target population served within the 60% median income. A selection policy should be created and active for the first cohort of programming and needs to be submitted within the first quarter of active programming. It will help to identify barriers and therefore allow the program to better determine resources needed to support participants of the target population. Sample selection policies can be found with grantee materials. The selection policy supporting program activities will directly support the reporting expected of grantee partners. Section 4 of the grantee guide details expectations around quarterly narrative reporting and just quarterly reporting in general. We will look to you to provide us with a formalized update every quarter. With this update, we expect that your participant data and tracking is as up to date as possible, and we will ask you to submit a qualitative narrative report to highlight either program progress or implementation progress and both successes and challenges in major areas of your program. The report is broken into sections and asks for success and challenges in major areas such as recruitment, assessment and selection, training and education, support services, and job placement. This is also a great opportunity for you to highlight technical assistant needs, and we always like to hear about success stories among your training and program participants, as well as any changes you might want to make to your recruitment and selection strategy. The quarterly reporting schedule follows the deadline of the 15th of every month following the end of the quarter, highlighted here, but also found with all of your supporting documents. Here's a sample template of the quarterly report. Each time a quarterly report is submitted, the quarterly outcomes chart should be considered. For example, if your organization has said they will enroll 18 participants by a given quarter end, on the quarterly report, when it states they reached this goal, we would expect that you would have enrolled 18 participants by the quarter end. And if not, we'd like to see reasons for why in the explanation portion of this form. After your organization submits the report, you will also set up a meeting with your program manager to discuss the progress made in the given quarter. When referencing your quarterly goals and incorporating the analysis into your narrative report, this outcome chart incorporated into contracting is what we reference. If there are any shifts to the training timeline, cohort size, or any shifts to the chart in general that would affect the program, we should be made aware. We will follow this quarterly benchmark to know when we might need to realign the information we have on file with the realities on the program. We currently use Apricot as our participant database for tracking program progress towards the outcome goals you established during pre-contracting and the template just shown on the previous slide. Our data analyst, Thomas Howard, will reach out to your program's designated reporting person with login credentials and an Apricot user guide. Your program manager is also here to support you as you familiarize yourself with the Apricot system and reporting process. In section 6 of your grantee guide, there are details about the participant data requirements. Note that each person that is selected for training under a WCTF grant must fill out and sign a participant registration and confidentiality form. It is important to note that each participant must provide a signature on the registration form. ComCore does accept digital signatures, but if you have any questions, you can reach out to your designated program manager. We ask grantee partners to ensure all information is filled out to the best of their ability in order for that information to be uploaded to the Apricot participant database. Apricot by Social Solutions is a database platform and official system of record for all WCTF participant data and tracking. And just a note that ComCore does not make use of Moses. We use Apricot in its place. Your WCTF grant is funded through a cost reimbursement model of funding. This means we expect by the 15th of each month, you will request reimbursement from the previous month. With WCTF funding, there is also a minimum match requirement of 30% by the end of the contract, and we monitor spending of the match requirement on a monthly basis as well. You are not required to submit backup documentation on a monthly basis, but are required to keep it on site. You can find a detailed outline of what we accept for backup documentation in the grantee guide. For your own planning purposes, please note that you will be paid within 30 days of submission, barring any corrections or edits needed to finalize your monthly reporting. Please also note that our fiscal year ends on June 30th. This means that this is the hard deadline for submitting expenses for the fiscal year leading up to June 30th. The way that grantees can report expenses and initiate reimbursement is through your customized fiscal status report, or FSR. We work with our program operations team to support this process, and they will reach out to you directly to give you access to the shared live FSR via Microsoft Teams. To submit, complete the line item for the month in question. It must be signed at the bottom with a date in order to move forward with processing. Once processed, the cells or previous months are locked. We will be sending more follow-up support on the FSR process, but feel free to connect with your program manager or the program ops team with questions. As we get underway with our grants, we hope we got things right in the initial drafting of contracts, but we understand that over the course of the grant cycle, you may need to realign your programs towards success by requesting a contract modification. This process is typically something that is discussed over time with your program manager. However, if you decide that a modification is needed, we will review those on a case-by-case basis. Please keep in mind that we request that these conversations begin 3 months prior to requested change. The most typical modifications for a grant are related to a budget realignment, an end date extension, or new training timeline with realignment of outcomes. With any modification, supporting documentation will be requested prior to submitting for approval. As mentioned earlier, WCTF programs are structured for success and ongoing support for your work and for technical assistance as needed. Program managers are here to serve as a resource and help with problem solving around challenges and anything that may be impacting success toward goals. Similar to our reporting structure, we will have quarterly check-ins to learn more about the realities on the ground and how your program is progressing. Our regular contact highlights the need for current contact information. So if at any point the primary contact changes for your grant, please be sure to make your program manager aware so that we can update our files and contact details for your grant. A key element of the Donnelly Grant Fund is the community of practice and bringing grantees together for learning and sharing successes and challenges. While we realize that busy schedules may impact your ability to attend, we hope you or someone from your organization will be able to attend these meetings as they come up. We look forward to celebrating your program in the months and years to come. The Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development has also shared this information with your state legislators. However, until a press release or an event announcing the awards has been issued by EOLWD, please understand that your projects are currently embargoed. Until then, please share the information about your award only with your internal staff, board members, and partners. Please also ask them to comply with the embargo. As your grant begins, you can expect a few follow-up items from us. First, you will receive more specific information regarding how to move forward with submitting expenses for reimbursement via our FSR templates, also known as fiscal status reporting. You will also receive information about Apricot, as we are currently or in process of setting up those logins as well as the shells for each project. We will aim to keep one account connected to each partnership. So if there is someone different than your project manager who needs access to Apricot for entering participant data, please be sure to let your program manager know. We will also, in addition to providing logins, we'll provide training videos so that you know how to fully access and utilize the Apricot system for reporting out data. We also have opportunities to connect virtually or in person with different grantees. However, we've moved away from the cohort model. And so now we aim to create gatherings that are more intentional, bringing partnerships together and opportunities for connection and learning. So we will be having a live virtual orientation for a group of grantee partners that have all begun around the same time as your grant. So look for more information via email about when that will be happening. Congratulations again on your award, and thank you for all of your dedication to serving the workforce of Massachusetts.